This section will show you how to plan and get started with your wallpapering project. We're now ready to do some wallpapering. The most important things to consider when wallpapering are: where do I start and where do I finish? If that room has a chimney breast as a focal point, the ideal starting point is find the middle, find the centre of the chimney breast, and then actually straddle the wallpaper in the centre. So that line will be right down the centre of the wallpaper. That way it will give you a nice, even, balanced effect, so you'll get the same amount of pattern on both sides of the chimney breast, and this will continue around the room. The other thing you need to consider is, where am I finishing? And the reason for that is, this is the one place that you'll lose your pattern, so you really do need to give that a lot of thought before starting your wallpapering. Generally, the best finishing point will be at the least viewed part of the room. In this room, I'm going to start in this corner. But never assume that working from a corner or working from a door frame are true, because they're almost inevitably not going to be straight. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to mark a line. The line I am marking is approximately 5 millimeters narrower than the wallpaper. The reason for this is that the wallpaper needs to wrap around the corner, but by as little as possible. Strike a line with the spirit level and then work from that line. So, we've decided where we're going to start wallpapering. We've struck our line. The next thing we need to consider is what's going to look best at the top of the wall. It's never a good idea to have a motif cut in half. So what I'm proposing to do on the first piece, just to give a reference point, is I'm actually going to cut an inch above this small leaf. I've now lined the paper up, whereas the top of the leaf is just below the bottom of the coving. Once you have done this, measure from the bottom of the coving to the top of the skirting. Remember to add 50 mm top and bottom. Mark and cut on the table. And that's my first piece. Once you have cut your first piece, you need to mark and cut your next lengths, making sure you match the pattern. Depending on the pattern drop and height of the room, you will normally get 3 or 4 lengths per roll. So perhaps cut a few lengths just to get you going. We're using our Polycell Extra Strong powder paste. You need to follow the instructions on the back of the packet, basically telling you how much cold water to have in your bucket to start with and how many rolls this packet will do. Once you've mixed it up, leave it for a few minutes and then just give it a final stir, and then you're actually ready to paste the paper. I've now left this for a few minutes just to settle up, and deliberately it's a little bit on the thick side. So what I'm actually going to do now is just gently add some more water just to get it to the right consistency for actually using for wallpapering. So again, just gently stir it in, no lumps, and that will be ideal to use for putting on wallpaper. When pasting the wallpaper, one of the things we don't want to do is get actually paste onto the table, because if we do that, it will be transferred onto the front of the paper, which will actually be sort of very messy. So a top tip there is literally just pull the second piece of paper over the edge, pull the third piece over this edge, and the actual piece we're pasting just bring into the middle of the table like this. When pasting, apply an even coat all over the surface, making sure all the edges are pasted, brushing out from the centre to the sides. So I'm now going to repeat that process with my next piece. There are over 190 Dulux Decorator Centres, so for further advice and product information, call into your local store. or visit our website www.duluxdecoratorcentre.co.uk, where you can also order online. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.